Alright, what's going on everybody? So UFC 319 just finished and it ended up being a really good card. So I'll be going through the entire card and giving my instant reaction to it. Real quick before I get into the video, 95% of you guys aren't subscribed. So if you like UFC, Misfits boxing, or pro boxing content, I post 2 to 4 times a week on this channel at least. So make sure you guys subscribe. I appreciate you. So the first fight of the card was Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Now, I think I'm officially done with these prospects from other promotions, especially if they're later in their careers. They're just not on UFC level. I cannot believe one of the most anticipated strikers that we have seen come into the UFC in a long time just got outclassed and absolutely dominated by Tim Elliott. Man, so like I just said, early in the fight, Kai Asakura wasn't even really putting anything on Tim Elliott from a kickboxing aspect. He was really hesitant because Tim Elliott was using this fancy footwork and head movement and lateral movement that really made things confusing, I guess, because Kai Asakura really didn't commit to anything on the feet. And then he easily got taken down in round 1. Then in round 2, you would figure that Kai Asakura would pick it up. No, Tim Elliott actually picked it up 2 times more. He pieced up Kai Asakura, then took him down, and then ended up submitting him in round 2. Oh my God. Is he not actually getting choked?
He's got it now.
Oh my fucking God. Yeah, if they didn't start in the UFC, don't bring them over. Their ass. Wrap it up, dude. Yeah, I have no idea what the hell they're gonna do for Kai Asakura next. I mean, what is down from a 37-year-old Tim Elliott? I have no idea. I don't know what's next for him. I guess it's a Tim Elliott title run starts now, so I'm with it. Next fight was Michael Venom Page versus Jared Cannonier. Now, this went about how I thought it was going to go, besides the fact that there was no finish. Early in the fight, Michael Venom Page stayed elusive, and Jared Cannonier wasn't really able to keep up with him. Michael Venom Page was kind of slow to start things, to let his hands go, but he dropped Cannonier in round 1 with a straight right hand. Then, as round 2 went on, he was landing more, starting to turn up the volume. Cannonier tried to push him up against the cage. Acid reflex is a bitch. But Cannonier was able to push him up, but Michael Venom Page was able to stay away, especially late in their fight, because in round 3, Cannonier was able to take down Michael Venom Page after he missed a Superman punch. And he was able to control him through round 3, but Michael Venom Page just easily won the first 2 rounds. Cannonier was not able to match the speed of Michael Venom Page by any point. Every time that Cannonier had him against the cage, Michael Venom Page circled out and landed his own strikes. So he really didn't have a chance unless he grappled earlier in the fight. But MVP was too elusive. So it's a great win by MVP. It was about as dominant as it should have been on paper. He was able to get away from submission attempts and ground and pound from Cannonier that has good wrestling. So he showed that too at middleweight. And he's calling for big names now, so I hope he gets those fights because I love him as a fighter. Next fight, Carlos Prates versus Jeff Neal. And I'm like, damn, I didn't expect things to go like that. Like, oh my God. I think I predicted a finish for Carlos Prates, but that was one of the nastiest things I've seen. We'll get to the fact that we saw 2 spinning elbows tonight, but this was the first one of the night, and the entire fight, Carlos Prates was doing very well with his striking. He was very loose. He even started bouncing like MVP at one point. He started implementing a bladed stance, which is scary because he was able to pull it off very well. He was able to close distance very fast. He worked very well with body kicks, pushing Jeff Neal back. And Jeff Neal was able to push him back a little bit and land his own shots, but he inevitably ran into the spinning elbow that finished him in round 1.
Another low kick here.
Oh my God! Spinning elbow! Holy fucking shit! Walk off! What the fuck? After the fight, Carlos Prates called out Leon, which is on paper a very good fight, but on social media, Michael Venom Page said he would be down to fight Carlos Prates in the Rio card, and Dana already said that he wants Prates on that card, so if they were to pull off that fight, that would be one of the most sick fights, so I really want to see that. Hopefully they make that. I know that MVP just went up to 185, but he could go back down when he faces a striker, because that seems like the main thing why he wanted to go to middleweight is because there was more strikers. So if they make that, that's one of the best matchups they can make. So I want to see that. Now for the co-main event, Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. Now, I got to say, early in this fight, it was making me nervous because I talked a lot about Aaron Pico before this fight and the ability of Bellator guys translating to the UFC. And early in this fight, he was unloading some real power shots and really was able to push Lerone Murphy back to the cage. And I was very confused on why Lerone Murphy wasn't circling away. But clearly he had a plan in mind. But before that, Aaron Pico was able to land some power shots to the body with his signature left hook to the body, which is very clean. He landed some good shots on Lerone Murphy. But out of nowhere, Lerone Murphy lands his own spinning back fist that finishes him in round one. You got me fucked up. If I'm trying that again at 130, you got me fucked up. Oh my god! Spinning elbow, he's out cold! Holy fucking shit! Oh my god! What? Are you fucking kidding me? That's insane. So it seems like everything's lining up for Lerone Murphy to get a title shot. He called out Volk, and then Volk on social media said that he will see Lerone Murphy later this year or next year. So it seems like they both want it. It seems like Evloev just keep falling out of the conversation one way or the other. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that'll be a very sick fight. So I'm not going to complain about that. All right, now for the main event. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Now, I know that the comments are going to rip me to shreds because I was already getting ripped to shreds just for picking Dricus, and I know on paper it wasn't logical. I just wanted the better for the world, to be honest with you. But, yeah, that was dominant. Chimaev really didn't do anything that made me jump out of my seat, but he's still a very dominant champion. Dricus wasn't able to do anything literally every single round. I think they stood up for like 20 seconds max, 30 seconds max, I think, actually. But Dricus probably landed 3 good shots the entire fight. Khamzat had him in the crucifix like 3 different times for probably a total of like 5 minutes. It was crazy dominance on the ground. There was a lot of cases where you couldn't argue standing it up because Khamzat was being active, but there was points where you could debatably stand him up, which is still like an iffy rule of the UFC, and you hear the refs saying you got to work, but they never really implement the rules, so they're kind of like a weird limbo on what they think about that rule. But yeah, I didn't expect it to be that dominant. I thought Dricus was going to be able to at least get away from a few in round 1 and kind of drain at Khamzat's gas tank, but he wasn't able to at all. He was just on bottom the entire time. Pause. But he really just couldn't do anything. Khamzat's a real dominant champion, and we don't need to watch middleweight for a long time. There is a lot of different divisions, so if we lose one, it is what it is. We regained a bunch of them. Marab started fighting like an actual fighter. Maybe Khamzat's next, but we'll see. Now, if Dricus' strength isn't enough to deal with Khamzat's wrestling, I don't know who the fuck is going to be able to deal with it. So I think we may be stuck with Khamzat as champion until he decides to walk away, or he loses the belt from missing weight or being sick or whatever. We could end up having an interim champion in a matter of 5 months. That really isn't that out of the picture if you know Khamzat and how he is outside the octagon. But he seems more locked in now because this is the best shape he's ever showed up in the fight, and it really did show it because Dricus only had like 3 glimmers of hope the entire fight. It was brutal. All right, so that was my UFC 319 instant reaction. It ended up being a very good card. It was very anticipated, and it lived up to it, in my opinion. And it even seems like 320 might even be more crazy, so I'm very excited for that. So obviously, subscribe if you want to watch more UFC content. I also cover boxing, Misfits boxing, all that, predictions, instant reactions, and news breakdowns throughout the news cycle. So if you really like my channel, literally, I'm a small channel, so every like, comment, all of that matters. So if you're gonna hate, call me a casual. You're helping out at the end of the day, so I appreciate you. That's all I had to say for today, man. Thank you guys for listening to me yap like usual. God bless every single one of you. And peace out.
For the winner, by unanimous decision, the reigning Khamzat.
Oh my goodness, she just got robbed. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They fucking gave her the unanimous, it wasn't even split.